Everybody, thanks for coming back. Here we have someone I love. I want to introduce you to a brilliant makeup artist, an amazing friend, and just an all-around fantastic person. Everyone, this is Campbell Ritchie. Campbell, say hi.
Hi. Wow, what an introduction, David. I don't even know what to say other than thank you. That was
I love it. She goes, and we're done. Click.
I will remember that when I'm doing my acceptance speech for globalized
I love it.
humanity and animal everything to do with activism. I will thank you for that.
Thank you. So, Campbell, why don't you tell us a little about yourself? Where are you from and how you got into the industry and stuff?
Okay, well, hi everybody. My name is Campbell Ritchie. I'm actually a makeup artist, which I love and has been my job for 27 years. But more importantly, I'm an animal and climate change activist, and I use that I use my work as a makeup artist in order to do better and be better in the world. Was born in Sweden, but I learnt my English in Australia and grew up in Australia. So I have a funny accent.
I like it. I like it. It works. It works. So, how did you get into the industry and what brought you over to the States?
Okay, so I was actually a ballerina up until the age of 16. I was a professional prima ballerina, and career-ending knee injury stopped me from doing ballet. I was going to be going back to Melbourne in Australia to join the Melbourne City Ballet, and probably would still be dancing to this day. But yeah, broke my knee, ended my career, and that was it. And I was really good at makeup, so I always did my own makeup for my shows, for our performances, because back in the 80s when I was doing all of this, you didn't have makeup artists do makeup for shows. So I did my own, and I was actually very, very good at it naturally, but I never thought it would be a career because my whole focus was always on ballet, you know. But then when the injury happened, I remember saying to my dad, now what do I do? What can I do? And he's like, well, you can't really do anything because you're not very good at anything other than ballet. And you know, my mother was so angry because she was like, I told her she should have had something to fall back on. And they all wanted me to be a hairdresser because my family, we have a family of hairdressers on my mother's side, but I didn't want to do that. And I loved makeup. So I thought, well, why don't I try? I ended up going overseas back to England to join the London College of Fashion to do a 3-year beauty and makeup media course. I was only there for 3 weeks when Francois Nars came to be a guest. I don't know what you would call him, like a tutor, guest teacher.
Wow.
And yeah, that's how I got into all of this. Then off I went to France with a gay man at the age of 17.
Pretty
And
fabulous.
that was it. It was kind of fabulous.
I mean,
You
he
know,
was
and then I
amazing.
met,
He's amazing.
he was incredible. And, you know, through that, I met Kevin Aquan, who I worked with for so many years, and Tom Pesciu and all the greats, Val Garland. Like, I owe my career to my mentors, and I've got no problem in saying that. And I will say that till the day I die.
That's
The
awesome.
reason that I do the work that I do and have the talent that I have is because I did. Obviously, we are given a God-given talent. However, these humans, my mentors, nurtured me into the artist that I am today, and that was because I was humble, I was teachable, and I loved what I was doing. You know,
Yeah.
and I'm so grateful because those guys gave me the career that I have today. Some of the clients that I worked with when I was on set with Kevin, I mean Tina Turner and Courtney Love, like those
Very cool.
people trust me because they trusted Kevin, you
Yeah.
know. And I have to remember actually many times how grateful I am for my career, you
Yeah.
know.
It's good to remember that. I mean, that's an extraordinary dive into the fashion industry. It's a really, really
Mm,
cool way to get into it. And but I have to say it's true. You do have to remember sometimes we get so caught up in the politics of the nonsense or what we're not getting. And when you step
Yeah,
back and take a look, you realize, oh my goodness, I've done some insane stuff. I really need to be appreciative of
exactly.
what I
I
have.
did it the other day. I because I was looking through old pictures and things, and I thought, oh my god, I had forgotten that I did that. Like, I sometimes need to give myself a big pat on the back, but
Yeah,
I obviously also want to be humble and all of those things. But there's nothing wrong with being proud of what you've achieved.
absolutely.
And I think that we need to be more of that now,
Yeah.
especially in this time. We need to we need to give ourselves a little bit more of a break.
Yeah, yeah, it's a bit of a weird time for everyone, and our
Yeah.
industry is really feeling it hard. How have you stayed inspired, I guess I should ask, or kept forward thinking in this weird time, in this weird year?
Well, you know what? I'm very blessed in that because, even though my mother grilled me when I was a kid for not having anything to fall back on, always in the background, I had this love for animals and the planet and the environment and just being innately weird because most people who know me, I'm fifth generation hippie, and you're lucky if I turn up on set with clothes. So, if people who know me as being this hippie weirdo, but that's fine, and I don't mind that.
Part of your charm.
Um, Thank you. Um, um, so I get a lot of my inspiration when I'm working comes from animals, comes from the environment, comes from the ocean, comes from the beach, so my surroundings. And I've been very blessed that, I've been able to take myself out of New York City, where I am in Chelsea, and be at home with family in the Hamptons, in Southampton. So I've been able to remove myself from that craziness and brought myself back into nature and walking and riding and swimming and all of these things. And from those things, I get inspired anyway. But I've always used my job not just through financial gain. That sounds like a crazy thing to say, but my financial gain through my work has stored a little pot for all my missions and my charity work and all of my animal foundations and all of these things.
Yeah.
So, and the fact that I work with brands that are also on the same page, like Shantakai, for example, who's one of my family members, more than being a brand ambassador for them as such. But these guys are my family, and they've been animal enthusiast and I can't think of the word, my brain has gone dead right now, but they've always supported animals and conservation acts and environmental acts, and so I've been doing a lot with these guys for things like environmental things. So even though I can't physically do the act of putting on makeup, I can still use my fingers to encourage, to remind people that even though we're in this awful situation of the pandemic, we can still be in touch with nature. We can still
Mhm.
go, we can still look outside the window. We can still go for walks. We can still swim in the lakes or the oceans, as long as you're practicing social distancing and safe practices, you
Yeah.
can still find inspiration and peace and some kind of meditation from your environment, your
Yes.
outside source. I don't know if any of this is resonating or making any
It
sense, but
does. There's you can as in when you're a creative, you can get inspired by many things. It doesn't have to literally
yeah,
be your job.
yeah,
Everything is a source of inspiration.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like, I haven't been sick with COVID, but I've been unwell since August, and even that hasn't stopped me from being productive and useful to my other people that I have to be of service to. For example, I've just been made ambassador of Space for Giants, which is an elephant conservation in Kenya, where I will be going to Kenya for 10 days to film a mission, which to me is an incredible honor.
Amazing.
Um, And it wouldn't have happened if I didn't do all the work that I do with Chantecaille and with Eco Age, which is Livia Firth's company. She's married to Colin Firth, who's one of my clients. Both of them are my clients. So those guys are recognizing the work that I do. Even though I'm a makeup artist, they recognize the conservation work that I'm doing, the charity work that I'm doing,
Yeah.
and the activism work that I'm doing. So I've been really busy, not
Yeah.
makeup wise, but I've been busy with my first love, which is animals and the environment. So I've kept myself very, very busy in that respect.
That's
Even
awesome.
though the world seems to be falling apart right now, there's a lot of work for someone like me to be
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop because the world is being told we're stopping. I don't stop.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
So
And you've been on that front for a long time. How does it feel now to see so many brands trying to play catch up? I feel like a number of them, I think, are
yeah, I
recognizing
mean,
that, are
I
getting on
I
board with
said
your ethos.
yes, I celebrate them for doing that. And I've always said to clients and to companies and to brands that weren't on that page that, let me help you. This
Mhm.
isn't about trashing someone or telling them that they're bad or bullying someone. It's about being united and
Yeah.
helping a brand understand why it's important that we don't use animal ingredients, why it's important that we use sustainable packaging and ingredients. It now more than ever, it's going to be very hard for brands and companies not to change,
Yeah.
because so much pressure is being put on them, um, which is not the angle that I've ever come at. I've always come at a more gentler approach with
Yeah.
love and kindness, planting a seed versus ramming it down someone's throat like religion, where people will run in the opposite direction anyway. I found it a more gentler approach is far more successful
Yeah.
than the other approach. You know, so I celebrate these brands for doing it and to try and make change. And I personally still offer brands the opportunity to work with me so that I can help them do better, be better.
Yeah.
Um, and there's a lot of people that are now coming, which in the beginning 15 years ago were slamming the door in my face saying,
Yeah.
are you out of your mind? You're a crazy hippie that needs to go and be quiet.
It didn't seem
And
like a viable
now,
business practice then.
yes, but now it seems to be that things are changing. And I hate the word trending, that I'm trending or whatever, but you know what, if that's what it takes in order to make change, then I will be happy to be trending. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm the uncoolest person in the world, but
No. No.
I'm happy to be that, whatever.
Well, you know what it is I feel like for years there have been a handful of makeup artists like yourself that I've known, very few people, but who were very vocal about only wanting to use vegan products and just being really particular about what they used.
Yeah,
And for a long time, I knew that a lot of brands were like, that's not really a sustainable business practice.
yeah,
But enough people have come on board with that viewpoint of thinking like, I don't want animal products in my stuff, or I don't want, my brushes to be made from animal or whatever, but like
yeah.
and I think a lot of them are like, we need to get on board or we're not going to sell anything, you
No,
know?
exactly. And I feel like a lot of the companies, the big name brands, are starting to struggle because people are
Yeah.
now going, wait, what? We've been lied to.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's okay to not have known.
Yeah.
But what it isn't okay is to continue doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
once you've been given the information,
Yeah.
it's then your responsibility as a human, as a consumer, as a company, to then make a change, even if it's a small slow change.
Hmm. I mean,
Yeah.
it's okay, especially for larger companies. I feel like they may have the money to make the change, but sometimes getting a company to turn on a dime is hard. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like it's like
yeah,
it's like turning an 18-wheel truck. It takes up much more space. So you got to do it a little bit
yeah,
longer. And so it
yeah,
makes sense. But if you're making the change, then that's all that matters. If you're making
absolutely,
the turn.
absolutely. I
Yeah.
think it's as little Greta Thunberg says, small changes make big differences.
Yeah. Yeah. It is true.
So
It is true.
yeah,
That's so awesome. I'm definitely going to put all those brands and those charities that you're working with in the link underneath, so when
Yeah,
people
that would be great
they
for
can click
people
on
to
that.
see so that they can help me with these conservation acts. I'm actually going to do a, a, a drawing competition or coloring competition, actually aimed more towards the youth,
Yeah.
because the youth is our future.
How young though?
Um,
Because I
and
love
it,
the color. I'm throwing
I mean, I
that.
feel like I'm still
Like
18, but it doesn't really show that anymore. But anyway, it's fine. No, I was inspired because from one of the this is where I get inspired all the time. It's so crazy. I was asked to do a very important post about giraffes, because in America, we are one of the highest trophy collections for
yes,
giraffe heads,
it's
which is just
terrifying.
blows my mind.
Yeah.
America. I mean, who would have thought it? So part of my work with Space for Giants was writing letters to the Senate, to the UN, and all of these things, and creating lots of numbers and lots of petitions, and. Anyway, through this, a 6-year-old young boy called Ian decided he wanted to save the giraffes with me, which I thought was just so gorgeous that I inspired a 6-year-old child.
Yeah.
And I was so inspired by him and his drawing that I decided to post his drawing as my post of the day or whatever it was. And Dr. Jane Goodall saw it and was like, Ian should be part of Roots and Shoots, which is another charity that actually Jane started the charity. It was her youth program. But I'm also going to be working with those guys as well. But what
Wow.
I thought would be great would be to do a colouring competition open to all children, and I will enter Ian into the competition as well. And the prizes will be on the lines of, a year's membership to Roots and Shoots, some beautiful artwork, animal artwork that is going to be donated from a friend of mine in Sydney in Australia. Maybe a meet and greet or something like this, or
Amazing.
I'm trying to think of other prizes that would be really great for kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to take a child with me to Kenya. That would be like the ultimate, so they could be on the conservation with me, on the mission with me. But that could run into legal things, so I don't know
Yeah.
about that, but it
You
would be
just
an
bring me.
amazing
You just bring
prize.
me.
It would be an incredible prize for a child, and
Yeah.
the reason I say this is because children might never ever see a giraffe other
Right.
than in a picture book,
True.
or an elephant in a picture book, and that horrifies me that a child might never see that because of the state of the planet and the state of what
Yeah.
we've got ourselves into.
Yeah.
So I thought if I did a colouring competition, it might be quite a good way to get community, get kids involved, and really educate children on why it's so important for us to be doing the things that we're doing.
Yeah, that's powerful. I think that's really, really good. I will definitely be joining the coloring competition. Ian, I'm coming for you. No, but that is really awesome because I do feel like that kind of thing does have an impact, and it does, it does. If you get to kids earlier, at the risk of sounding weird, but if you do teach them well earlier, they'll be much more responsible adults later in
I
life.
think so. I really do think that, because it was when I was 8 years old that I just said, no, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah,
Like, I wasn't even an adult, but I said to my parents, why are you telling me that, you know, I have to humanize my animals and be friends with them, yet you still want us to eat them? I don't,
yeah.
it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I've actually heard
It
that
just
from a lot of
doesn't.
kids who grew up with animals around. There's another friend of mine who's
Mm,
like that too, who said, they had on the farm and you get to know
yeah,
them and it's
yeah,
weird, which I get. That's why I like that distance.
yeah.
Terrible. Sorry. Wow, that is awesome. I love that you've kept yourself. I can't even say that you kept yourself busy. You've been busy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's just been nonstop for you, which is really, really cool. And to be able to do the things that you really love
yeah.
is and so and you because you've been that makeup artist who has stayed, who is always about vegan stuff or whatever for a long time. So it's
Mhm.
very cool to see the rest of the world coming towards your, you know what I
I
mean? Like,
know.
yeah,
Yeah,
coming to
it's
where you
it's
are.
funny to me now that it's cool to be. I mean, it should never be about being trendy or being cool to be
That's just how
cruelty
people are.
free. It should just be, but
Yeah.
whatever it takes to make that change, not
Yeah.
just for yourself as a human being, but for the whole of the planet, it's so essential.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I
Yeah.
love that.
And there's so many choices out there now too, there's so many
True.
choices.
That is true. And a lot of companies are doing really cool things that I wouldn't even consider. Like, I work with Kevin Murphy and
Yeah,
all
see,
of,
Kevin's been on that whole
he's been
plane
on it
for a
for a
long
long time.
time.
His packaging is all ocean waste recyclables.
I
All
know.
ocean.
I
Incredible.
just think it's so
Yeah.
beautiful. Which is actually, I work with another company called One Ocean Beauty. They are stunning,
Oh,
and
wow.
all their sales go to different ocean organizations. They don't use any products or any ingredients or any packaging that's harmful to the environment. They're
Amazing.
just and these people found me. These guys kept coming to me, and it just, I just have to hold on tight and really believe that what I've been silently screaming about in my head since I was 8 years old
Yeah.
is now slowly coming true.
It is.
It's
It is. I think a lot of
slowly.
people are coming around to it.
Yeah.
Most
and
people. That's
it's
otherwise these companies wouldn't act on it.
yeah, it's very exciting. It's
Yeah.
very exciting to me.
That's
But
amazing.
the thing is, I don't want people to jump on this bandwagon for the show. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people that also do that. There's a lot of
Yeah.
greenwashing. There's a lot of people that jump on this whole bandwagon, and they're
Greenwashing, is that what they call it?
yeah, greenwashing in
Oh,
the industry.
wow.
Yeah.
I've never heard that, but that
And
makes
then
sense.
secretly behind doors, they're eating a burger, or they're spraying a L'Oreal. Oh, no, not that I should say, spraying a can of hairspray by a company that does
Yeah.
test on animals
Yeah.
when they're, like that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you got to check yourself
True.
and be
True.
really authentic,
Yeah.
because I have been authentic to my financial suicide and detriment for a very, very long time. And now I'm hoping that things are going to start changing.
I think so. I have a good
So
feeling.
hire me, guys.
Love it. You're like, these hands are ready.
I know.
I
I'm the
love
voice for the
it.
voiceless. Yeah.
You've done so well for so long, and I would like to ask you, I mean, but not so long. You're very young and beautiful. I'm not saying
I
that.
am very old,
You've done
but
well
I
for
look young.
long.
I'm having a hot flush.
I love it. I don't know if I'm blushing or if it's a hot flash.
No, it's a hot flush.
What would your advice be to not just makeup artists that are already in it that want to maintain longevity, but to anyone who's fascinated by our industry and kind of wants to get into it?
You know what? This is a great question, because I am all for people coming and assisting and helping and being part of me and my team and what it is to do this job. I am the biggest teacher. I will always be the biggest teacher. I'm a nurturer. I love people. I love people that are as enthusiastic and as passionate about my job as I am. So if you really, really want to do this job, you want to really do it for the right reasons. It's not about becoming famous. It's not about doing, being, I don't know what people are wanting these days in this industry, but it's not for the fame, and it's not for this, and it's none of that. You need to love your job so much that you will show up on set at 4 o'clock in the morning, um, looking like you've been dragged through a bush backwards, but it's fine, because it's not about you. It's about the person that you're working with, or the team that you're working with, or the client that you're working on.
Yeah.
And if you can understand that and let ego go, then you will have a career as a makeup artist or as a hairstylist or whatever it is that you want to do. If you start thinking about just yourself and what you can get out of this, and how quickly you can climb the ladder, or how quickly you can gain clients and use clients from your mentor, then you are in the wrong industry, because it takes time. It's also about respect, and it's about learning and understanding your place when you are on set. I never had a voice for many, many, many years. You had to be silent. You were standing there, you were watching, you were learning.
Hmm.
it was never about you. It was always about you supporting your mentor or the person that you were
Yeah.
assisting. And I have great respect for people that do that with me. And it's not about being better or, having more years experience or any of that. It's about knowing when and where to use your voice or to educate yourself, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I would never ever have, I didn't even speak a word half the time when I was
Yeah.
working with Kevin or with Tom or Francois or Valve or even Pat McGrath. I mean, if you said one word, you would have maybe got a shoe thrown at you or something. I don't know. But there was such a level of respect
Yeah.
for your mentors,
Yeah.
where there isn't that much anymore.
Yeah.
And I think it's come from the YouTube side of things, which I totally respect as well. But be humble, be humble. You know,
Oh, Cam,
um,
your vision went
I
out.
know. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened there.
Oh, you got it. You're good. I almost
Oh, you're
paused, but
back.
we're
I'm
good.
back.
Yeah.
Did you lose me as well?
Nope. Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah,
That'll
I
all
think
go in the
there's.
video.
Okay. Sorry, life's happening. Had a phone call. Yeah, so I think that it's about respect and being humble
Yeah.
and just,
Being willing to
I was
learn, being on set.
humility is yeah, humility is a huge thing, and just being grateful for being on set or being amongst this incredible team of people that you have been brought into.
Yeah.
You are going to get so much further, so much quicker if I have trust in you, and I know that you can go on and do a job for me without me being there, knowing that you are representing me, and that I've given you so much trust to
Yeah.
do that job. And I do that. I will let all my babies go out there and do, represent me. But it takes a lot of trust between mentor and artist to do that. And I use the word mentor now because one of my assistants that I have right now, or two of them, one of them being yours as well, because we share a lovely young lady, but one of my other girls, she said to me, she said, "You're my mentor." And I was like, "What?
That was
I'm
sweet.
not a mentor."
Yeah.
I said, "I'm not even anywhere near mentor." And she said, "No, but Campbell, you are my mentor. I look up to you in so many different ways, not just by the way that you treat people, the way you act on set, the way you hold yourself, the way you're creative, the way your kit is presented, the way you speak to people. You are a mentor to me in so many areas of my life." And that really blew my mind. I thought, wow, I've never been called a mentor before, but now I have a responsibility as well.
Yeah.
you
I
know
love that. That's awesome. Yeah.
yeah.
That is good. And that's true. And that's actually really, really good advice. I love that. The idea of trying to be humble, recognizing what you're there for. And because you're right, I was having this conversation recently with another friend how people want, so many kids coming up now want that instant recognition.
Yeah,
My God. Dang.
recognition. Yeah, no,
I
I know
just
what
pulled
you're
an Elmer
saying.
Fudd.
Recognition.
Yes.
Recognition.
Recognition. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you're learning
Um,
English from a Swede. That's kind of funny.
yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah, but it's funny. And you're just like, but I also think that there's a new crop of kids that are coming up that have seen that generation before and trying to do that, see that it didn't work and are
You
trying.
know what it is? It's my children's it's my children's generation. So it's
Yeah,
my both my 19-year-olds and my 21-year-old. They're all like,
that age group.
it's those kids that
Yeah,
saw me in the 90s doing the hard graft and realized what I had to do in order
yeah,
to get to where I am now.
yeah.
So you're right. It's my kids' age now.
Yeah, those
Um,
kids, I'm not worried about them. Those kids,
no,
I think they'll be
I'm
okay.
not. I'm
Yeah,
not worried about my kids, because they've seen hard work
yeah,
and they knew what it was all about.
yeah. I think the previous generation, unfortunately, there's a many a good kid that I've worked with from that generation, but so many that I just thought just have to
Yeah.
one job. I was like, I am not using that kid again because clearly it was all how many likes can I get? What can I, and
Yeah,
pushing, 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 and just like
yeah,
take your time. The business jobs will come to you when you're ready.
yeah,
The business will
yeah,
know when you're ready because you get booked because you're reliable and you're good
exactly.
and they
Yeah,
know it because they're putting their
yeah,
money they're spending money
absolutely.
on you. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. I was having this conversation the other day with Harry, because Harry's transitioning with a his assistant that he's always had for the last 4 years, and now he's transitioning into a new one.
Mm,
And I just thought, wow, like the guy that he's now got is just incredible. I mean, Jacob was always incredible, but I look at Jacob now and I see where Jacob's career is going, and I think you were the smartest assistant I think I've ever met, because you stuck with Harry, you trusted him, you listened to him, you kept your
mm,
mouth shut, you knew when to say what, when,
yeah,
and he nurtured his career with Harry, and Harry's given him this incredible career. But he's also given himself this career
yeah,
because he trusted in his mentor,
yeah,
and now this other kid's coming in. Oh gosh, I've forgotten his name. Dawson's now coming in, and I just think, wow, like I said, Dawson, are you ready for this career that you're going to have? Because I don't think you realize how blessed you are to have
mm,
a mentor like Harry. um, and just look at Jacob's career. If you're smart and you keep your mouth shut and you do the hard work and you show up on time, and you're going to have the same thing.
yeah.
And how
That is smart
exciting for
though.
you.
That is the thing though. They learn to keep your mouth shut and do the work. That's very
Yeah.
hard to do because once you
Yeah.
get into it, you're like feeling yourself.
Yeah, of course.
You know.
But Dawson is my son's age. She's 20.
Hmm.
I'm excited for him. I'm
That's
really
awesome.
excited for him.
Yeah,
So
he's
yeah,
gonna do well. I feel like that age range, those kids, they're all right.
yeah,
I'm not. I guess I'm
yeah,
not worried about them.
yeah.
Yeah. Wow,
It's
that's
exciting.
awesome.
Yeah.
Campbell,
I miss you.
I miss you too. Thank you for doing this. I'm hugging you virtually.
I'm giving you the biggest virtual hug.
Yeah, I know, but thank you for
Yeah,
doing this for me. I'm so glad I'm gonna get to feature you on this. I
it's
really
my
appreciate
pleasure.
it.
It
And
really is. You're a very good human and a
oh,
very, very talented hairstylist. And I love being on set with you. And
me too. We
I've
always have a
always
good
called
time.
you my favorite hair husband. So
I think I'm the cutest too, but we'll just go with
I'll say cutest too.
Thank you again, Campbell. I love you.
I love you too,
Stay
babe.
safe. I can't wait to work on sets together again. I'll see you soon.
Yes, it will be soon. Take care, sweetheart.
Thanks, babes.
Bye.